Hello, this is Stuart, and today I'm going to show you how to cook a meal for a special occasion. You want to impress your date or your wife, and this special occasion could be San Valentine, or maybe is her birthday. And it could be one of those situations where you don't want, or she doesn't want to go out to a restaurant for whatever reason. Maybe because it might be a pandemic out there, or perhaps you just want to have an intimate experience with your date. So, this is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be the actual dinner, and the second part is going to be the dessert. And my first advice is to keep everything simple, but make it look like it was complicated. You know what I mean? So for the dinner, which is this is the video for the dinner. This is part one. We're going to cook a lobster, and we're not talking about those frozen lobster that you buy in the store. This is a live lobster, because the freshness when you cook it is a completely different meal. Now, this one is going to be boiled. I don't recommend that you go and do one of the stuffing type lobsters, because what is going to happen is she probably is going to look eventually in YouTube and see how you prepare one that requires stuffing, and it's not a pretty sight because the lobster is alive or whatever when you're doing the cutting. So no, go with the boiling one. It's more humane in my opinion, tastes as good, and you're still going to impress her. So don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you now. Here's the lobster, fresh. Now this one is in deep sleep, because I put in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, and what happened is it's going to what I call a deep sleep. So when you put it in the water and you start boiling it, it's not going to feel anything. So it's very humane. So don't feel sad or whatever, because that's what we do. We eat food, and most of the food that we eat is meat or fish or whatever. And once you put it down, we're alive. But this one, it's fresh, about alive, but to cook it in the most humane possible way, I just put in the refrigerator for like 15-20 minutes. It's not going to feel anything, and then it's ready to be put in the pot. So you start boiling the water in a pot, a big pot. Some people have the very tall pot, which is the most appropriate one. However, let's be realistic, not everybody has that. But here's the most important thing. When it comes to cooking the lobster, is the time. For the first pound, it's 10 minutes. Every pound after that is 3 minutes per the pound. This is a 2-pound lobster, therefore it's going to take me 30 minutes. 10 minutes for the first pound, 3 minutes for the second. And what you do, you put it head first. There it is. Cover it and let it cook. Now this is a very critical step of the process, because this is what is going to add the flavor to the lobster. It's your dip. You're going to make it dip, and it's very simple. All you need is butter, Italian parsley, garlic, and if you desire, some thyme. And what I did is I'm using fresh stuff. So for the Italian parsley, I cut it into tiny pieces. I grated the garlic, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the butter in the stove. I'm going to heat it up, And then I'm going to add the aromatics and the flavors. I will also put a little bit of sea salt, not a lot, enough for taste, and that's it. And this one is pretty much done. In fact, it's already done. Now, one thing you is very important here. My pot is relatively big, but if your pot is not that big and you fill out completely water, when you're boiling, clearly the water is going to go up, and then you might have a little mess. But because I've done this before, I had the proper amount of water. So once again, that's why having a tall pot comes handy, because you don't fill the pot all the way up. You know, you just fill it enough. And for the lobster, you really don't need to submerge it completely, because the steam is also going to cook it. But look at this nice little color. This is how you know it's cooked. Now, what I do personally, after I'm done cooking here, I take it out and then I run it to room temperature water, you know, to cool it down a little bit and to keep that nice looking color. Cooking my butter for a little bit. Added the stuff after the butter was melted. And here we have it, a beautiful lobster with the butter dip, some lemons, and the appropriate tools.